a lot of times over the past few years where I was stressed.
New Olympia champion. What went through your mind? I saw you hit the deck Ronnie Coleman style, and then in the blink of an eye.
I remember that conversation we had, and it was one of them shows where I was kind of going for one of my first ones, and I didn't have that self-belief in myself. I didn't think that was possible. I just thought, you know what, if I could just get by and one day make it to the Olympia stage, it would be good enough. And you told me then that, you know what, there's something there. If you keep at this, you will be Mr. Olympia one day. Well, I sort of thought you were kissing my ass and just full of shit, though. But that was just me. I think he was.
No,
just being,
listen,
was being nice.
I am full of shit, but I was not on that particular time. It was very truthful.
But since then, you've always spoken to me. You've always given me good guidance, and I've always been appreciative of it. And I want to say thank you very much. It means a lot.
Listen, you know talent when you see it, folks. I've been in this game a long time. You can see a great physique that's in the building stages, and you've done a great job perfecting your physique. The hate mail has already started, folks, on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. But, Samson, you've been dealing with that all year long. You have made the wrong decision all year. No matter what you did, you got ridiculed. This is something that all you athletes have to deal with these days. We didn't have Instagram and any of these things years ago, so the stuff we had to deal with was far removed into the magazines. But you guys are in real time, and you handled yourself like a champ. But it's got to be interesting to see that, no matter what move you made, it was the wrong one. What are you doing? Why are you going to Kuwait? You're not going to Kuwait. What kind of, you're changing coaches. No, you can't have your wife as your coach. She doesn't know what she's doing. Apparently she does know what she's doing, right? I mean, always go to the wife, Smart play, buddy. Smart play. She was quick to grab that check last night, but you got the Sandow, buddy. But listen, then you went into France. No, what's he doing? What's he doing? He's going to ruin his chances. He's going to show up at the Olympia way off. Well, that didn't happen. And then, of course, you got to the press conference. We were right here on this stage. And you committed the cardinal sin of all cardinal sins. You actually showed everybody your physique that you've been working on all this year. That just cursed you. Now he's for sure not going to win. Did you see Samson on stage? He's 2 weeks out. He's not even ready. He's not even close. He won't even be in the top 5. How is it dealing with what you got to deal with today?
I think there's something we really learned this year is you can't please everybody. No matter what you do, people are going to always have something to say. So you just have to say, you know what, I know who I am. I'm confident in what I can do. I'm confident in what my team can do. I'm confident in what my wife can do. And I was like, you know what, I trust her more than anyone else on this planet. And if we say we're going to do it, we're going to do it regardless of what anybody says or think about it.
Well, Samson, I'm going to circle back because I'm going to get to the champs. And, of course, we got a whole bunch of stuff to recover. But congratulations. You are the 19th, as we talk about. And you're new Mr. Olympia. All right, C-Bum. I see you eyeing that, Sandow. You did say you were retiring last night. I think it might have caught a few people by surprise. But technically, you didn't say you were retiring from the sport. You just said you were retiring from Classic. So I don't know. I think he's got that one eye keeps going over to that Sandow, man. But in all seriousness, Chris, congratulations, man. What a great career. Added another one to the title. 6-time champion now. And what an appropriate time. I mean, obviously, everybody's got their own personal decisions as to when they want to call it a day. I always think it's great when a champion can go out under their own power, make their own decision on the Olympia stage to a standing ovation of a full house here in Vegas. And what a great way to go out, man, and a great speech to boot. You are the consummate champion. C-Bum, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So give me your thoughts. When did you decide that this would be it? Was it something earlier in the year, you kind of knew this was your last year, or is something just along the way you said, you know what, maybe this is a good time?
Honestly, the truth is last year was almost my last year. And there's a whole story behind that, which everyone will learn eventually. But I almost walked away from the sport last year, and it was from a place of a bit of fear, a bit of resentment, and not the place of love that I know that I have for this sport. And, I questioned with myself whether I would do this one or not. And last year getting through a tough prep, going through a lat tear and a bunch of things and falling out and almost stepping away from it. I felt like I was walking away from the sport in a way that I didn't want to. And I finished on such a beautiful note. I was like, what if I could have done it better? What if I could have enjoyed the whole process more, done it lighter, had peace with it? And I felt like there was more in me. So I decided to go for another year, and I was just going to let myself ride it, see how I felt. And it was probably my favorite prep I've ever had in my life. You know, I've had my daughter, my wife with me this year. It's taken a little bit of the pressure off. You know, you're having a bad day and you come home to a baby smiling and you're not having a bad day anymore. So it was beautiful, and it was just such a great prep. I believe I brought my best look ever, and the whole year just feeling good, body coming together, everything coming together. I was just at peace with being done. You know, there's nothing left to myself that I need to prove up here. I've had an amazing 6 years winning these Olympias, and I'm just excited for the next journey that comes, you know. And there's something to leaving the party when the party's still fun. You know, you don't want to see the lights turn on while you're still there. So I'm grateful that I get to step away on my own terms on a victory, getting to say goodbye to the crowd in my final speech. It was an honor, and it just felt right.
Well, it was very emotional. I think the fans could really appreciate where you were coming from. But when did it become apparent? When did you make the decision? You said, okay, actually, this is it. It certainly wasn't a game time call, right? Like it didn't just happen last night?
No, yeah, it was well over a year ago.
Okay, oh, so you knew last year, like, okay, I'm going to do one more and that's it.
Like I said, I almost didn't even do this one.
Right?
I stopped training for like 4 or 5 months after the Olympia last year, and I was like, I don't think I'm even going to do the next one. I'll maybe announce it halfway through the year. And then I was like, nah, I got a little more in me.
Started getting hungry, huh?
I got a little hungry, and I was like, I can do another one. I didn't feel fully at peace in my heart, you know, and the most amazing thing about this weekend was that everything came together. I was at my best. I felt like I have more in me. I could continue to do this, but I didn't want to. It just felt completely peaceful, saying goodbye exactly as I did, knowing I'm making the right decision, and, you know, I'm just looking forward to the next chapter in my life.
So you had some great competition. You know, Urs brought his best. That's probably the best Urs I've seen. He's a very young man in this sport and has got a great career ahead of him. And Mike Sommerfeld, boy, he brought it. I mean, he was good. We saw him last year, the year before, I think, where he broke into the top 5. And you can see he had all the tools. If you had to pick a successor, Ramon Dino, there's a whole bunch of the guys, Wesley Vissers, who would you think has the best chance to take your spot next year?
That's such a tough question to answer because every year it's been swapping around. But I'm really excited that, you know, I'm hoping me stepping away is going to put a fire under everyone's ass to come back even better and better. And I think it's going to be a tight show. It could be Ramon coming back up. Wesley could prove what everyone wanted to see this year, next year. Mike could take it. Urs could take it. It could be anyone. And, you know, I haven't said this anywhere else, but I want to talk to Dan about spicing up the prize a little bit for Classic. Coming from myself.
I see some some Jim Shark monies circling around, Chris.
That's going to be some C-Bum money. That's coming from me. But it's truly been a privilege to be a part of this division, and, you know, I really want to give back. So next year, they're going to be getting a fatter check than I got this year, and hopefully that lights a fire under their ass. And who knows who's going to win, but I hope it's a worthy champ. I know it will be. There's incredible guys on stage, and whoever takes the title is going to be someone that we can all look up to.
Give it up for C-Bum. Keone, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, Bob?
Love that jacket, man. That's a custom piece right there, I can tell.
Yeah, custom from Freedom.
That's great, man. I love it. It's
Thank you.
Sharp looking, but not as sharp as you were on the Olympia stage. Just to prove it wasn't a fluke, you are now 2-time Olympia champion, Keone Pearson. I know that was very important to hear those words on stage because, listen, Sean Clarita is a hell of an athlete. You guys came out last year, boom, you were in the winner's circle. But just like everybody else, you got to deal with the naysayers online. Oh, it was a fluke. He'll never do it again. He only won because Sean was off, right? Sean comes back on, it's over. But you blocked out the noise. You only concentrated on yourself. And you were better this year than last year, my friend.
Thank you so much, Bob. The mindset I had going into this year was to still maintain that underdog mindset. And also when we started prep, my fiance, which I got engaged when I was 5 weeks out from this prep. So she's not here right now, but I love you, Amanda. So yeah, it was the mindset of like, I never won. I never won a trophy. I haven't won anything. And that what kept me hungry the whole entire 18 weeks out. As soon as I got on that Stairmaster 18 weeks out is I've never won anything. I want that title. I know winning the first one was great, but honestly, I still wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. I knew I needed to really make a statement this year to let the world know that I am here to stay, and I can do this over and over and over and over again, and I can be better. And we did that, and it feels amazing, and the work is still not done yet. I'm already talking about when I'm already ready to go back into the gym to train starting Monday.
Like any true bodybuilder, that's what we do, right? You get in the gym, we train, that's what we love doing. Competing is obviously an offshoot of that, but you had Flex Lewis that was out there, in attendance this year, 7-time 212 champ. Sean Clarita, he's got a few titles under his belt. You've now got 2 titles under your belt. If you get the same question everybody else says, it's got to drive you nuts. No matter how good you do, no matter how many Olympias you win, the next question comes. Chris knows all about this. Are you going to go to the Open?
The answer is no, I am not going to Open. And like I said during the press conference, nowadays, especially with social media, everybody wants to push you to do things and go further than what you want to do. Just stick to your goal and your plan and make sure you have a solid team behind you. Don't let social media push you to be this person that you don't want to be. So stick to your script, stick to your plan, and just follow that and block the noise out.
And listen, don't get me wrong. Listen, you might do very well in the Open. I thought Flex Lewis might have done well in the Open, but much like Flex, when I used to ask him the same thing, he's like, why would I want to go to the Open? Well, I'm the best in the world at what I do. When he was 5, 6-time, 7-time champion. Chris Bumstead, same thing. You're the best in the world. You've amassed the most fans in human history at 86 million now, or whatever you're at. But again, you're the 5-time champ, now 6-time champ. None of these athletes, we all have one thing in common in the world of bodybuilding. Every single pro bodybuilder on this earth has one thing and only one thing in common. Not one of us ever got into this business for the money. Right? As you can see the heads nodding. Listen, this isn't the NFL. This ain't the UFC. This isn't professional baseball. Nobody's signing contracts of, $20 million. Well, Chris does, but, that's him. But so, Keone, congratulations. Enjoy that second victory, my friend.
Thank you so much.
And continue the improvements. Like I saw that video you put out a week or 2 ago, and I was like, oh, it's going to be tough to beat, man. I thought you looked better in that video than you did last year, not to take away from last year's victory, but the improvements you made in the year as the champ have been startling.
Thank you so much. Like I said, as soon as we came off the stage last year, we went straight to work. My girlfriend, I'm so used to saying girlfriend, my fiance, she made the training program, and we went straight to work. And yes, my fiance does all of my training. We train together. We've been training together every day for 2 years straight and never missed a session. So, yeah.
Tell you what, I'd be worried about getting put out of business. We got the spouses are taking over. He's got his fiance. Samson's got his wife. Right? Sarah's got her husband, Ali. I mean, the spouses are taking over, but they know you better than anybody, right? So as long as you got one that's willing to crack the whip, it sounds like you're doing all right, my friend. Congratulations again,
Thank you so much, and thank you, everybody.
All right, let me come to this end. You talk about redemption. We got to talk about this man right here. He is Harold King Kong Kelley. So you got 6 of these now, right, Harold? I always lose track of you got so many victories. I think it was 22, correct? 23 now with this victory. Already. Every time I turn around, you got another title. Grab that microphone right there next to Ryan. Thank you. Harold, congratulations again for you. It was also about redemption, but in a different way. You have ruled this division since it started up, since Nick Scott. It's right down here, my friend. Nick, appreciate what you do for the wheelchair. Nick Scott, your wheelchair chairman. Without his efforts, none of these guys would be here. But Harold, again, you just couldn't be beat, man. You were just absolutely killing it for year after year after year until last year. And then all of a sudden, much like Andre, you find yourself in uncharted waters in a not winning position. All of a sudden, it wasn't your name that was called out. And that lit a fire underneath you, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. It meant a lot. That loss, it put things back in perspective, really. Even in 22 when I lost the Arnold, when you look at yourself and you take a L, it's how you swallow that L. and that L always done in the right way will put you back where you need to be.
Well, that it does. Nothing will give you any more incentive than losing when you're a professional athlete. That is for sure. But what was the reason? I mean, was it your own letdown, like Andrea has mentioned in previous interviews? Sometimes it's easy to get complacent when you just go out there and you just keep winning. And, maybe you tend to take things for granted or, listen, nobody works harder than somebody climbing the mountain, right, trying to get that title. Hanging on to it is a whole lot tougher sitting there, right? So did you find yourself in that position where you just felt yourself like you kind of let off the gas a little bit? Or did the competition just get that much better?
Well, a little different direction with me. I'm 53 years old, okay? So, with family, businesses that we was running, and then launched a brand new business trying to get ready for another show. And being that business that I launched, I had to be there myself. And I was straddling the fence in regards to not having all the boxes checked, like she said. So if you won 5, you figure, okay, I can do this, I can do that, and I can do this. And I wasn't laser focused. So if you're not laser focused on what you need to be doing and putting your mind direction, everything in that box to that direction, you could miss something in there. You may come in there 85%, 90%, or 80 or 90% across all of your things that you are doing, instead of them being 100% in that direction.
Well, and let me say this, you might have gotten away with that a few years ago, but with the talent level that's come up, and again, Nick, congratulations on a great year. You had 12 athletes up there this year in the wheelchair division from all over the world, but you can see that bar has been raised significantly over the last few years where you've got some real talent up there now.
Yeah.
I mean, you used to go out there and it was just kind of over. It's like, oh, there's Harold again, another victory. Here we go.
Right.
You had to find a fight and work for this one, but you came back in grand fashion. It's the old Harold that we were all looking for, and all of a sudden, King Kong is back in the winner's circle.
Yes, sir.
By the way, I got to ask, well, 2 things of significance. Number 1, unless I'm mistaken, and I don't believe I am, there's another record that you have broken, and that is you are the oldest Olympian in history. I don't think anybody's even close. I think Chris Dickerson, I believe in the men's, Chris Dickerson was like 43 or somewhere on that when he won the Olympia way back in the day. I'm sure one of the historians over here will correct me. 1982. Well, of course, you knew that. Yeah. But I don't think anybody's even been close to the 50s on the Olympic. I didn't even know you were that old, Harold. But
Oh, yeah.
You are still killing it. You're killing it, man. So,
That's right.
Harold, congratulations. Now, where do you go from here? You've got 6. You keep going at 53. You got other stuff kind of kicking around. You're just going to kind of keep going with it.
Not sure yet. When I get finished, I'll take all this in first before making that decision. Talk to my wife, my team, and again,
you got to include the wife, please.
Yeah. Well, the same thing I was telling Samson. In regards to wife getting him ready, I said, well, I never had a coach. I literally never had a coach. Me and my wife did this since we began. Since the accident in 2007, my wife and I got myself together in every show.
You've had a good coach and a good wife.
That's right. Yeah.
Harold, congratulations. Great to see you back in the winner's circle. Oldest ever Olympian. 6-time Olympia champion. 23 victories in his career. Give it up for King Kong Kelley. All right, Ryan. You're looking good, man. Once again, bro, you went out there, you hit the Superman pose. You had to work a little bit this year, but I tell you, man, that pose is an absolute killer. All you're missing is a red cape behind you, flowing in the wind.
No, thank you, Bob. I appreciate that.
Much like Samson, I remember meeting you in the UK some years ago when we ventured over there with the NPC Worldwide. Yeah. And you were already a competitor. You were a top competitor. You're not a new guy on the block. You've been here 11 years now, I think this is, Ryan?
Yeah, so this is my 10th Olympia. I've been competing, 12 years.
10th Olympia, and up until last year, you have actually placed in every single spot that there is up until number 1. Yeah. You finally checked that box off last year, so now we got a whole new set of boxes, and you checked off that number 1 spot. Again, congratulations now, 2-time Men's Physique Olympia champ.
Now, thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
You're another one kind of like you're like Sydney's male counterpart. You're so busy with the business of bodybuilding and business in general. You've got gyms you've opened, you've got business ventures, and then you find time to get yourself on stage and get ready for the Olympia. Is that just the way it is? I mean, between family life and business life and your competitive career, you just seem to prefer to be busy.
Yeah, I've always been someone who likes to work hard, but I feel like I function better in chaos. So I need that kind of in my life. So my wife is in the crowd just despairing of me because every year I have to find a project or something new to do just to add more pressure to it.
Is she your trainer too? Or?
No, she's not my trainer now.
You should probably think about hiring her, bro. I'm just saying. Seems to be the way to go. But you seem to be doing good with what you're doing right now, so I would kind of just stick with it and don't change a thing. What did you think about the competition this year, Ryan? I mean, every year you've got numerous champions up there. This year was absolutely no exception. Yeah. You had Aaron Banks on one side of you, and it didn't seem to get any easier as you were going. But once again, your overall flow in physique, everybody thinks men's physique is just an upper body contest, and it couldn't be further. You actually got some wheels underneath those trunks.
Yeah, they always say about men's physique, don't train legs, but no, that's a thing of the past now. I've always loved bodybuilding. I've been training 21 years. I used to train with open-class bodybuilders my whole life, so you can't not train legs, obviously. Physique is very balanced up and down.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I think the biggest misnomer in the industry is that this is still 8-10 years ago. 8-10 years ago, they had the big baggy, the board shorts. Right? That has evolved greatly, where the shorts you guys got on now are not the old board shorts. They're not big and baggy. They're not hiding nothing. They're tight. They're form-fitting. They've got a little bit shorter over the years. But I thought the difference between you and Ali Bilal, who is an excellent newcomer, by the way.
Phenomenal, yeah.
What a great competitor, man. His upper body was right there with yours.
Yeah.
But I actually think, and again, I'll get stuff online about this, but this is the absolute truth. They are looking at the entire body in men's physique. It's not just an upper body contest. They're looking at the whole body in silhouette. I actually thought you won the contest because of the legs. Your legs match your upper body. They're not small at all. Like I say, you can see you got some. You've actually hiked those up every here and there to show everybody.
Yeah.
I got lines there, people. You don't want me coming for that Sandow.
Yeah, we're not quite going for the Sandow, but it's nice to see the way the division's gone now. Because obviously, like in the early days, we did get ridiculed quite a lot because there was just baggy shorts and they were looking at just the top half. So it's nice to see where it's evolved to, and also, you can't just have one part of the physique now which is a standout. And I think before everyone was chasing the size or some sort of one part of the physique, whereas it's not like that now. It's like any other division. It has to be balanced throughout, which has definitely suited me a lot better now in the last 2 years.
Well, Ryan, we don't want to put you on the spot, but where do you go from here? You've got 2 titles under your belt now, but like you said, you're not a newcomer to this. You've been at this a while, like Sydney and some of our other Olympians. Obviously you're going to enjoy this victory on the spot, but any thought to the future? Is this something you're going to keep riding it as long as you're winning, or any thought to I want to go out on top, or you got a different plan?
Yeah, obviously I don't want to be a guy who just lingers on. I don't want to be that person. Oh, come on, let's move him on. You've been here a long time now, but equally, I live and breathe bodybuilding. I love the sport. 365 days of the year, I'm immersed in it. So whilever I'm enjoying it, and it's not affecting my social life with my kids, I've got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and as long as I'm still being able to provide for my family and we're enjoying it, I'd like to keep going. We did talk about it in previous years, obviously placing 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. It was kind of getting to a point like, have I missed my peak? Am I actually ever going to win the title? So we did toy with the idea of retiring in the last couple of years, but after winning last year, I've had such like a whole new lease of life from it, and I just feel like a young athlete going through it again. And I'm 35 now, and some of the guys I'm up against are in their 40s and stuff going. Don't get me wrong, I can see my wife, look, we're not doing that for that much longer, but there's still life in me, and whilever I'm enjoying it, I'm going to keep riding it.
Well, one thing I can say for sure is you started a trend last year, and I've noticed it as well the competitions I do around the world. Until you came out with that front pose, boom, front and center, Superman, hands on hips. Yeah. Rarely have I actually seen that. Ever since you won the title, about half the guys now come out and do that pose.
Yeah.
We're just going to name that the Ryan Terry pose.
We should try that. Yeah, let's see if we can get a trend going.
I think
it's not the Superman pose anymore.
Yeah, I think that should be the Ryan Terry pose
Terry
at this
pose.
point, right? I like that. You're going to put a big T on your chest.
Let's do it. RT.
But it's interesting to see that kind of started that trend now where people think, you know what, I'm going to kind of do that thing. But unfortunately for about half of them, it's not in their best interest. Not everybody can hit that pose. You have to be built a certain way to be that bold to just go out there straight on. Everybody's got the twist. They want to make the waist look small, but man, you have made that your own, bro.
But that's kind of what I think the division should be. I think not try and hide anything. Like try not hide your flaws and just showcase symmetry and proportion by hitting a front shot. So I feel if you do go to the side or if you're twisting the torso slightly, it's trying to give the illusion of a more tapered waist, and it's trying to hide flaws. So I feel like we should all stand straight on and go for it.
Well, it's actually supposed to be the way it is in the rule book, but obviously everything's been kind of tweaked over the years. You know, it has evolved, if you want to call it that. I think it's been a good evolution. But Ryan, just continue to do what you do, man. You look great, and you're now 2-time men's physique Olympia champion.
Thank
Ryan
you, guys.
Terry.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
This landscape has changed dramatically for you over the last 24 hours as you are Mr. Olympia now. Does that change your mindset in terms of, okay, now hang on, I got to get with the coach here. I got to get with the wife. I should be asking you this question. Why am I asking you anything? Does this change where you're going forward now? Will we see you at an Arnold or a France or any other show? Or you do something that you haven't been able to do your entire career, which is take a year and take that break and not have to get ready for preps and now defend your title next year. Which way are you going, champ?
Well, like I said, man, I think I said this at a press conference before. I'm never going to be a one-show guy. I'm never going to sit out and, just disappear all year and then just only see me at Olympia. I'm always going to travel. I'm always going to do everything I can to give back to this sport that's given me so much. And as for the Arnold Classic, you best believe I'm going to be on that stage.
Let me tell you something, folks. I got to applaud that because that doesn't happen a whole lot for those who've been following the bodybuilding scene. We have had champions. Ronnie Coleman, many years ago did it, but he actually almost regretted it. He said it almost cost him the championship. But I got to appreciate any champion that can put that on the line and go, you know what? I'm here. Come and get me. What did you think about the competition yourself? That you've never beaten Hottie and you've never beaten Derek, but you beat them both last night. As the prejudging was going on and you saw the comparisons and you saw the guys obviously right there next to you, what did you think? Did you think, I'm in the mix, I got a shot, or I'm beating these guys?
I mean, we went through it last year, and, for me, last year was the very first time I was being compared to them at the Olympia stage, and we knew how ahead they were to us, and we knew we had a lot of work to do. So I think it was about a few weeks or a few months later, I went up against Hardy and the Arnold, closed the gap a little bit, but Hardy's a hell of a competitor, man. He's just an animal. And every single time I always say, look, we keep getting closer, that's all we got to do. And we took some months off, went back to drawing board, trained hard, and eventually this year at the Olympia stage, at the biggest stage of them all, I finally get past those two guys. So now I say, you know what, that hunger is still there. I haven't even started getting satisfied yet. So going to the Arnold now, that hunger is just going to get bigger. And yeah, I welcome them guys to jump with me and come to meet me at the Arnold stage, and let's do this again.
Gotta like that. Samson, take me back to that moment. You're in the center. Hottie's in the center. Here comes the big announcement. Boom, you hear your name as new Olympia champion. What went through your mind? I saw you hit the deck Ronnie Coleman style. And then, in the blink of an eye, just when you were down for the count, William Bonac came in like a defensive end out of the Chicago Bears and tackled you right in the center of the stage, Samson. What was going on? The place was coming down on you.
I mean, William has always been, William's done this a lot longer than all of us. And he's always been, I remember my first pro show, he gave me advice. And he's always been there to always support me and so give me advice and show me, keep my head on my shoulders the whole time. So even at this show, he was there telling me, come on, bro, keep your chin up. You got this, you did this, keep going. So once I won, it wasn't a surprise that he was the first guy to come over and say, and just be as happy as I am about it. First I went down, I was like, what the hell just landed on me? But But you know what? You're so caught up in emotion at the time, and you're just in disbelief of what just happened. And to have the guys there to celebrate with me, you know, it meant the world.
You got it, Samson. Andrea Shaw.
Chris. Hello, my name is April, and so first, big congratulations. And I just wondering, what is the most important thing that you think you grow from this 6 year, and it gonna like influence the rest of your life?
What's the most important thing you've taken away from your sixth victory, Chris?
Damn, tough question. I would say just understanding in life what's truly important to you. You know, like we work hard for a lot of things, and we have a lot of external, internal motivations, and bodybuilding is a rather selfish sport with an external motivation, and there's a lot of internal things I get from it. But over the years, I've grown a lot from the sport. And in the last year, since having a daughter and a family now, my perspective has changed a lot of what's most important to me. And you know, I've had a lot of amazing victories up here on stage, and I have a lot of beautiful things in my life. And sometimes more isn't always more. And I've been able to enjoy this journey, and to have something else in my life that I understand is truly important to me, that fills my heart with so much more joy, like my family, my relationships, my connection with my wife and everything. That's truly all that matters to me. And being able to walk away from something as beautiful as being the best in the world for 6 years with no fear of leaving anything behind, because you know your heart is so much full in other areas, and knowing what's truly important to me, I think that's the greatest lesson I could have learned. You know, there's been a lot of times over the past few years where I was stressed, and this year, being able to come home and look at my daughter smiling and just alleviate all that stress, because it doesn't matter. As long as I have my family and they're happy, I have everything. So it's just put life into perspective, I guess. You know, I've always been a family man. It's what's most important to me, and it's been a privilege to be up here for 6 years. But, you know, winning isn't everything. You know, it's about the journey. It's about who you become along the way. It's about the relationships and the people that you get to share that journey with as well.
There you go. Thanks for your question. Oh, you got more? Man, you're just taking my job here.
Okay, thank you so much, and I think you made the legend, and you are a legend. Yeah, and you are, oh my God, I'm so excited, sorry. Okay, yeah, so, you're really important to me, and also the whole bodybuilding industry for sure. And I just have a little request. Can I have a signature on my belt, please? And can I take a picture with you?
Well, they're going to be here afterwards, so make sure to make yourself up to Chris, and he'll be able to get you a signature, all right?
You have to run quick, so I'll do it right now for her.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there we go. Well, I couldn't have done that, that's for sure. Those days are gone. All right, well, they're taking care of business. Yes, my young friend, come on over here. Yes, sir, you got a question for one of our Olympians.
Yes, I just want to say congratulations and thank you to all of you for putting on such an amazing show. I just have two questions. Samson, is the Sandow going to get a ride in the McLaren?
Yeah, there's a good question.
No. Man, I don't even know if this thing will fit. But nah, this one, I think this one, my wife's probably going to carry this one. I know she's going to be excited about this because she's already been eyeing it all since I got here. So, yeah, definitely going to be with her.
Samson, People's Champ Award, it doesn't always go to the champion. We've had it where it's gone to somebody else. But your popularity has increased this year, my friend. The people got it right.
You know, honestly, that award, when they called me out for that one meant a lot to me. Because I've always felt like, look, this sport gave me a lot. You guys have supported me from the few years ago when you all saw me running on the spot in a hotel room in quarantine in South Korea and not being able to make it to the Olympia. You've showed me support all the way. You've told me time and time again, keep your head up. We see what you're doing. We know you're working hard. And I just want to do my best to give back to the people that have always been there for me and always told me, you know what, we see you. Keep doing what you're doing. We're behind you. So for me, you know, being able to stand out there and meet every single person that's in that line that queued up for hours and hours and hours just to get a picture with me, that's literally the least I can do. So thank you guys so much for all the support you give to me.
Thank you, Samson. Yes, sir.
I have two questions. One for Samson. After 25 years, you bring back that trophy to UK. So what are your feelings? And my man Ryan, what keep the mindset after a long time competing, fighting with the youngsters? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Ryan, how is it? Has the mindset changed over the years? Now that you're the elder in the room, and you got some guys in their 20s next to you now.
Be careful, Bob.
Hey, I'm old, so.
Yeah, no, I think my mindset changed though when I became a dad. Like when I became a father, the whole purpose, my whole why became very different. So before then, it was bodybuilding is a selfish sport, and I was chasing titles, and I wanted to be the best in the world for me, for my own self-gratification. But when my kids came along, everything changed, and I want to make them proud. And I know that sounds cheesy, but I want them to look up to me. I want them to be proud of their dad. So that's given me a whole new lease of life. So the last 2 years, winning my Arnold titles and winning the 2 Olympias has been them watching. And for me, that's, what keeps me motivated and grinding. So these young guns can come through, but it's not happening just yet.
Thank you, Ryan. Samson, you feeling
Thank you.
Are you feeling a sense of country pride? And not since the Shadow has just been in the UK, and it's been all over it's taken a tour around the world in Egypt and Iran, America, of course, and now the UK.
Man, I mean, you can't imagine what that feels like. The last Mr. Olympia from the UK is obviously the great Dorian Yates. That was 1997, and no one in the UK has ever come close since. So to be the second man from the UK to win it after 25 years, damn, I mean, that really, really feels good.
Where were you in 1997 when Dorian was king? What were you doing, Samson?
Man, I think I was still living in Nigeria at that point. I didn't even know what the hell bodybuilding is. I'm like, what? So, you can imagine, going back and watching the history of the sport and watching all the winners and following the sport and going through it and seeing all the champions that he's had and knowing that I'm in the UK and the only person that's ever done it. I mean, I was the guy that went to the gym and everybody spoke about Dorian. Everybody, the Dorian. And I was like, damn, okay. And then to believe that I'm in that spot now, it's unbelievable. It's genuinely unbelievable.
Yeah. Just a young Lion club playing soccer in Nigeria. That's what you were doing.
My question's for Ryan. I've been following your journey since your first Olympia, and I want to ask, what's the legacy you want to leave behind on men's physique?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's a long time. That's a good question. I just always wanted to, and again, is it a cheesy answer, but I always wanted to inspire others. And like when you come to events like this, obviously this is the pinnacle of our sport, and you have a queue at Meet the Olympians, and each and every one of them are talking to you about how you've inspired them or motivated them to do better in their life. For me, that is job done. I absolutely buzz off that so much, and that's why I've been doing it for, 15 years, 16 years in the industry. And I live and breathe it. Like I said before, I live and breathe the sport. And if I can bring a positive impact to it, and I feel like over the years, there's been a lot of can you say bitchiness, and I don't want that for the sport. I want to just keep elevating it and everybody treat it in a positive way. And that's kind of like the legacy I want to leave, really, in a positive way.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, mate.
All right. Last couple questions here, folks. We're going to have to wrap it up. Yes, sir.
Congratulations to everyone here. Job well done. Very proud and impressed with you guys, and proud to be part of this league and this sport. My question is to my big brother, Samson. Samson loves to give back. I see that. The first time I caught him was when he was in Korea trying to prep. And ever since I started watching him from there, I never looked back, and I kept watching this guy. And truly, he speaks what he says, And my question to Samson is, definitely you're giving back to the UK, but you're also the Nigerian Lion. So how do you also plan to give back to Nigeria if you have that plan?
Well, I know knowing from where I come from, there's a lot of Nigerian bodybuilders there and a lot of talented guys from Nigeria that can do this sport. And time again, you know, they reach out to me and they say, look, I want to get better at this. I want to get into bodybuilding. I want to know how do you get sponsorship and everything else. And I know full well, I always kind of give them advice and say, look, this is what you got to do. It's extremely hard being a bodybuilder in Nigeria because we do not have the facility or amenities to it. So anything I can, there's one thing I definitely want to do. You know, I like to travel, right? So it's only about time. And after, 10 years, I go back home and go aspire some more people over there to say, look, it is possible, man. I was in your spot. I got here. You could do it too.
Thank you, Samson. Thanks for the question. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So you guys are all so amazing, and you're rising up a good show. So my question is for Ryan. You said you work best in chaos, but what is the secret? I mean, you have a family, you rise up, and what is the secret to be a champion like this all the years long?
These questions are quite difficult. I don't know, for me, it's just loving the sport, so still enjoying the sport and making sure you prioritise what's important. So me and my wife have always said, being a father, being a dad is my number one. So as long as I don't sacrifice my time with them, I'm there, present throughout their life, then that comes first. Then obviously bodybuilding is a huge part of my life, and I absolutely live and breathe and I love it. So we then factor that in around it, and then any other time we look at business and how we can make money from it, or how we can fund our lifestyle. And that's kind of just how I've done it. And I'm somebody who has to be proactive. I'm not reactive. I have to be proactive. So I'm always thinking about the next thing or the next stages of my life. So we own real estate, other properties, and I own businesses in different fields, and that's what keeps it alive for me, because it's not just one thing. I've got fingers in different pies, which keeps the excitement there for me. So I've just always done stuff what I enjoy, and it's the same as my training. I prep myself. I haven't got a coach. I've not got a trainer, and it's because I like to be sporadic in how I train. I go into the gym. I have no set plan. I do what feels on the day, and the people look at me going out thinking, how can you do that? And it's the same with my food. I don't count calories. I only go off weight of food, and it fluctuates each and every day on how I feel and how I'm present with my kids. Like, my food fits around my kids. My sleep pattern fits around my 1-year-old and stuff with my wife. And it's just always worked for me. And people say, how does that work? Like, as a bodybuilder, you have to be this, you have to be that. And for me, you don't. I think if you make it work, if you want something in life, you'll make it fit into your lifestyle. And that's what I've always done. And it's always kept the enjoyment there. And there's been a few years where I've tried to go down the counting calories, doing caliper readings, just really, really, really full-on planning everything, which works for most people and works for a lot of people. But because I work in chaos, it doesn't work for me. So I found that the winning formula personally for me, and that's kind of how I've rolled with it.
All right, thanks for the question.
Cheers.
Hang on, folks. I'm told I got to wrap it up. If I can get Chris Bumstead, if he's still in the house, I want to get Chris out here to... He's got to get going. Folks, we're going to have to wrap it up in just a few minutes. A lot of these athletes have photo shoots to get to and such. Hey, there's Chris. All right, Chris, I know you got to get out of here, but I'm sure you've got something you want to say to the fans.
I was not even expecting to be here this long, but I have a prior engagement I have to get going to right now. These Sundays are crazy, long weekends. But just wanted to say thank you guys for everything. You know, it's been an honor being able to be here every single year. You know, it was funny this year. I was like, Sunday at the press conference, I said it a couple weeks ago, and I just knew I was going to be here this year. I wanted to finish it off right, and I'm grateful I got to do so. And I'm grateful, like I said last night, that just the concept of when people are at the top for a long time, sometimes they start to get hate, and I've received nothing but love from you guys. And it's been an absolute honor and a privilege to try and put on a show for you guys for the past 6 years and be my best and be able to share this journey with all you guys. And your support means the world to me. So thank you guys for everything, all your stories, everything you share. I will be at upcoming Olympias, upcoming shows, everything's still a huge part of this sport. So this is a goodbye to the stage, but not a goodbye forever. So thank you guys for everything. I love you guys.
A great champion. Give it up for C-Bum, everybody. All right, Samson, in Olympia tradition, you get the last word, my friend.
Thank you all for coming out. It's been one hell of an Olympia weekend. one hell of a success adverse for Olympia, and I couldn't feel more proud to sit here with all these champions and be one of them. And I want to say thank you all for supporting all of us. Wow, what a weekend. What a weekend. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Harold Kelley, Ryan Terry, Sidney Gillen, Andrea Shaw, Samson, of course, Sarah, Missy, Keone, and of course, Isabel. Congratulations to all of our Olympians. You're all great champions, and you are all Olympia champions. That's going to close things out, folks, for another great year at the Olympia. We appreciate everybody coming out.